Okay guys, it's been a minute, so I'm going to tackle some of your questions because I think these are always like super fun, and so rarely do they ever focus on homeschool topics, which I think is also really entertaining because you remember that I'm a person, and I think that's kind of fun. Let's get started. These are in no order, and they're kind of all over the map. Most of these are not something that I think would make like a good full video, so I'm just going to run through them and see how many we can get through, okay? So let's go. Welcome back to Making Everyday Magic. My name is Shanna, and if you are new here, we are a homeschooling family of 4. We've done this for 8 years, and now I'm gonna answer some of your questions. Before we go any further, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on that bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. If you have a question that you would like me to answer, drop it in the comments down below, and I will either go ahead and answer it or include it in an upcoming Q&A. You can always get your questions submitted to me either in the comments. I will usually put up a post or an Instagram post specifically asking for questions for Q&A, so be on the lookout for those. All right, let's start with a tough one. Have you started planning for high school, and what are some accounts that you follow to help you kind of plan for homeschool high school? So, have I started planning for high school? Not in the sense of actually planning, but more so in the, here's what we're doing, I can see how this tracks out. So I'm thinking about it like kind of long-term and globally as I am making decisions in the shorter term, but I have not and we are buying, biology for 10th grade year. Like that isn't where I'm at, but I've started thinking about what our options are, keeping them open, and making sure that I'm kind of always thinking with the end goal in mind. As far as accounts that I like to encourage me along the homeschool high school journey, I don't have any that I watch where the kids are older than my kids. So everybody's kids are about my kids' age. So it's more of that kind of like camaraderie in where we are, and seeing what they're doing in comparison to what I'm doing and getting ideas that way, and not so much as like an inspiration ahead, if that makes any sense. But Homeschoolology, love Nikki over there. I don't think she's still planning to consistently post, but Melody over at Homeschool Happy Hour, adore her, and her kids are older than mine, so it is a little bit of a look ahead. And Project Happy Home, love her. And then one of the biggest kind of encouraging inspirations that I've had as far as homeschooling high school is David Halafmi at History for the Ages. And that is just because as an educator outside standpoint, he always talks about how wonderful the homeschool kids are when they get to him. And so that for me is a really big inspiration in continuing our homeschool journey through high school. So thank you, David. Okay, this is a fun question. It says, I know every genre on YouTube is different, but wants to know my stats on kind of the analytics on the back end. So it's like, what's your RPM, which if you don't know is revenue per mil. So it's revenue per 1,000 clicks. And I don't think I've ever really talked about like the logistics of YouTube here. But let me tell you that I do not make money here. Literal pocket change, but not I do this because I want to share, and I feel like there are a lot of other benefits. So there's connections, there is value for me in what I'm putting out, but also what I'm receiving from you, and there are opportunities as far as learning about other curriculum and other sources and things like that. But it is not for the money. So if you really want to know, my RPM is about $10. So every 1,000 views is about $10 as far as revenue goes. So it is not great. However, there are other opportunities. So there is networking, there is learning about different things. And then there are, as the question asked, about sponsorships. So there are sponsorships, which I would probably do a lot better with that if I were not so picky about my sponsorship. So I am approached daily about different products and different things like that. There's all kinds of affiliate programs. It really does help me out. Actually, if you see a link, if you guys click the link and use a link, that genuinely does help me out. I always disclose if they're paid links. I always disclose if it's a sponsored video. But as far as sponsorships go, it really does come down to the creators. So I turn quite a bit away. If it doesn't make sense for me, if I don't think it's going to resonate with you, there's no sense in me wasting my energy in that manner. And there are a lot of things, and I genuinely want to bring you my honest feelings and my real experience with things. So I like to use the product, and then so often I go back with an entire, like, this clip didn't work, this voice sounded weird. Like I do go back with feedback to the vendors that I do decide to partner with. But honestly, most of them I turn down. So I could probably go a lot further if I was willing to just, blah, blah, blah. But this is where it comes back for me, the line between content creator and influencer. So I like to think of myself as a content creator and not as an influencer, because I am creating something from what we're already doing. So I essentially have monetized what we are already doing, what we already use. I used Timberdoodle before I started this channel. I am creating content that I hope answers a question, solves a problem, fills a need, as opposed to influencing you on things you should buy. And that is where I really draw that line. So if I were just trying to hawk stuff to you, then it would probably be quite a bit different. But that's not my style. That's not who I am. I'm not somebody who's going to encourage you to rush out, and just the overconsumption I think is genuinely a problem. So I'm not going to take everything that comes my way. So I have been approached by several big brands, Temu and Shein and all those things. And I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. It doesn't align with what I want the world to be. So I do actually turn down quite a lot of that. But if you were wondering, that's how that works. And I do have like a media kit that says I've, this many followers and this many, and this is what I essentially charge for a video. So I do that. But again, I still maintain 100% creative control, and always preface this with, if you're ready to have my complete and honest opinion, please proceed to the next step. But yeah, that's how I do that. So fun fact question there. And like I said, I have not had an opportunity. I've been asked like what kind of cameras I use and things like that, but not really a big opportunity to talk about this platform kind of as the business that it is. So fun. Okay, so will you have a spring break, or are you going to go straight through to summer? And that is actually, in all likelihood, I will have a spring break. And that is because I will work really hard to make sure I feel like we can take a week off. However, if I don't get to the point where I feel like we can take a week off, we will be going straight through to summer. We do not have any vacation plans in the spring because my children are busy. So we have committed to some of those things. We also have a few other things coming up really soon that I will share with you. However, as of now, other than just having fun time off, we don't have any plans to be away. So that is what in my brain, unless we just start rolling and going, which this is, from the time I'm filming this first week back from holiday break, it'll rough getting restarted this time. So I can't imagine that we will take time off, because I think unless we're just blowing and going, which I don't foresee, or we just need a break. So I don't have plans either way. Normally I've got like a vacation plan or something where I'm like, yes, we will be off. I don't know. I'm just gonna, every day we're gonna make one day at a time over here. How do I track progress and grades? And I've talked about this some. I don't think I have a full video. I might have a full video on it. It's kind of hard for me to explain. We don't have to track anything. We don't have to report anything here in Texas. I am at the place now where I am trying to work on making sure that I have like course descriptions and, little bios and things like that in an effort to prep myself for later making transcripts. Full disclosure, I've not done that yet for this school year, and it is over halfway done. So that, as far as progress goes, we go in a line, right? So I'm not jumping all over the place. So like We've got page flags in our books. So, progress is next page. I'm not tracking that, if that makes sense. Grades. I do give my kids tests and I do grade them. But that is more to give them the experience of test taking. And then, it lets me know, oh man, there's something they may not have understood. But as far as that, it's not like I'm tracking grades or anything like that. Because when it comes to homeschool, at least in my homeschool, in my experience, I am with them side by side every day. I'm checking their work every day. So I know if there's like a red flag or something that we're not getting or something we need to focus on. So I have a hard time answering this question. So no, I don't really track progress and grades, but like I know what our progress is, and I don't know how to answer this. Sorry. I don't have to though. If I had to, different conversation. And I do need to get my little cute course thing that I made last year filled in, but I haven't done it yet. But it's on my list of things to do. So, okay, I think this will be the last time this video is going to get a little long, and I have kind of a lot to say on this topic, but I don't think it's like a full video, but it could be. If you guys are interested, I will be happy to know, happy to share. But I had somebody ask me about living in Houston because they have a kid who's considering relocating for college. So here we go. 1, Houston is in a more conservative area. Inner city Houston is more liberal and aligns more with my social views than the burbs. However, Houston is amazing. I love it. I'm very partial to it, born and raised here. I have always described it as big city amenities with small town feel because the people are kind. Yes, we have homelessness issues and things like that. The further I get in this journey and the more people who come to homeschooling is amazing in Houston for a great number of factors. There are increasingly a lot of groups. There are increasingly a lot of resources because we are such a major city. So keep in mind that Houston is the 4th largest city by population in the country. And we are rapidly knocking on Chicago's size there as people move here and flock here because cost of living is very low. For the most part, the weather is very manageable, but I'm used to it here. A random freeze here and there, a hurricane here or there. It's hot in the summer and it never gets cold and it doesn't snow. It gets rainy, it gets dry, all of those things. But because of all of that, Houston has some amazing amenities. We have an outstanding live theater community. We have more museums than you can count and world-class museums with very big budgets. We have the largest hall of paleontology, if I'm not mistaken, in the US, possibly outside of DC. I'll have to check on that one. I'll try to remember to put it right here. We have green spaces and large amount of parks. We have bike trails. We have an amazing food scene. We are very close to Galveston, which people will complain they don't like the water, but it's very nice to have a beach. There's a lot of history in Houston and in Galveston. Houston is truly an amazing city. We've got a 100-year-old zoo, a 100-year-old art museum. But because of all of that, there are a lot of options for homeschoolers in Houston with homeschool days at Downtown Aquarium, homeschool classes at Glassell School of Art through Museum of Fine Arts Houston, homeschool classes as far as fencing and ninja and dance. There are some amazing resources in Houston for homeschoolers if you're considering it. Even just living here as a family, Houston is truly amazing. I think that our public transport system, which I don't use, could probably be better, but we do have a train. We've got great bike trails. Traffic is kind of crummy, but as far as it goes, it's awesome. Houston has a lot of community colleges, which is, dual credit options for high school. Houston has a lot of colleges and universities, and we're close to a whole heck of a lot more. Day trips from Houston, you can do Galveston, you can do Austin, things that are close, San Antonio, Dallas. We have cruise ports going in and out of Galveston. Houston has 2 major international airports. I love Houston. I honestly do. The only reason that I've ever considered leaving is 1, my desire to travel, but also the politics and the way that the tide is turning, especially for those of us in red states. So that, but food scene, art scene, homeschool scene, travel amenities, travel options. I mean, we're halfway between, you know, the East Coast and the West Coast. It really is amazing. Truly, truly, truly amazing. And you can find absolutely anything you'd ever want here. It's incredibly, because of the oil and gas industry, Houston is also incredibly diverse. Okay. So I mean, every language that I can think of is spoken here. We've got the Swedish Club of Houston. We've got German Club of Houston, Greek festivals. I mean, it's a world-class, amazing city. And it does, I always say, big city amenities and small town feel, because the people are truly nice, truly kind. And we've got the rodeo that rivals the size of literally any state fair anywhere. I'm just saying, I'm a little biased. It's hot. We got mosquitoes the size of pteranodons. That's awesome. It's awesome. That's all you need to know. It's awesome. Yes, and cost of living is amazing. So you get space. And the suburbs, every suburb has its own feel. So Katy feels different than League City, and League City feels different than the Woodlands, and the Woodlands feels different than Sugar Land. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, you know, top tier shopping, and it's a great city. So if you get an opportunity to visit or check it out, don't think there's nothing to offer. We have it's so good. It's just so good. So good. So if you get a chance to check it out. Also, I do believe that Houston focuses on the community and keeps the community in mind. The museum district has a free night where you can go and visit all of those things for free, which is amazing. Houston Zoo does free days. I'm just saying, you don't take my word for it. I'm just saying it's awesome. So that's the last question I'm going to answer in this video. Maybe. Hair. Okay, let's talk hair really fast. I can't decide if I want to go lighter or darker, but I'm kind of liking the length right now. So give me your thoughts, because I would like to know. Anyways, yeah. All right, guys. I hope that you found this helpful, entertaining, or informative. If you did, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. Like I said, it wasn't mostly homeschool, which is kind of fun. Anything you want to know, either down below or keep a lookout for the next time I ask for those questions for a Q&A. Bye, guys.